Greetings, all! Today, we will be examining the relatively uncommon ground-type Pokemon Mudbray, the Donkey Pokémon, and its relatively rare evolution Mudsdale, the Draft Horse Pokémon. Though they can sometimes be stubborn and prove to be a handful to stop in place, the members of the Mudbray family are sturdy creatures that can readily hold cargo and people alike while demonstrating considerable power in close-quarters brawls.
Mudbray have dark brown hair, with patches of lighter colored hair along their belly and legs, mainly from the mud that often covers these parts of their body. They stand on 4 legs with black hooves and have a black fan-like tail and mane that reaches over the back of their head and up into their forehead. Their light brown nose and large black nostrils help to frame their brown ears with pink interiors and their black eyes, which constantly have a blank sitting expression to them. The evolved form Mudsdale have a similar coat of brown hair on their bodies, though in their case, the hardened mud that covers their lower legs, hooves, tail end, and parts of their mane and face is a bright, earthy red color. Their mane has 6 thick tassels that run down the sides of their neck, and a more mohawk-like form as a crest up to the top of their head. Their black eyes look more focused as a whole to give them a more serious look, and their rugged frame, in combination with their exceptional height, helps to intimidate those that dare to stand against them in a fight. Mudbray and their evolved form Mudsdale were once quite widespread in the world and were popular to use as steeds in place of Pokemon like Ponyta as a result of their generally calm dispositions and incredible strength. However, their meat was also seen as a delicacy to some, and many of these creatures were hunted down and killed for it. As a result of this, their population numbers dwindled to the point where they mainly went extinct in all parts of the world, with the sole exception of the Alola and Galar regions. There, they are protected from hunting by national law, and the region thus serves as their last paradise on Earth. The near extinction of the species is a shame, as even at a young age, these creatures are capable of incredible feats of strength that make other equine Pokemon look fairly weak. Mudbray themselves can drag along a weight of material 50 times that of their own body weight without exerting much effort at all, and Mudsdale can go even further and haul over 10 tons for 3 days and nights without having to rest. They further are able to run in even the slickest of environments, thanks to the thick coat of mud that covers the hooves, which grants them better traction and in turn a stronger running gait than what other creatures might be capable of displaying. Plus, it allows them to create more momentum with their kicks.
This same mud is highly resistant against the effects of wind and rain, and is thus very hard to remove, leading some people in olden times to coat the outside of the houses with this mud to protect against extreme weather. The sheer power of their kicks is on its own also quite staggering, especially in the case of Mudsdale, as they can obliterate opponents with a single strike and can completely demolish a truck in the same fashion.
While they might not be able to run that fast, and in fact have a slightly lower base speed stat than Mudbray, the incredible traction possessed by these creatures can enable them to cling to the path they are walking strongly enough to leave massive hoof-shaped marks in their pathway when they are galloping, which, unfortunately, makes it illegal for them to walk on some roads to save on maintenance. While they initially can take a great deal of time to recover if they become exhausted, over time these creatures can become more resilient to the pain of exhaustion, helping to make them stronger and more useful draft animals in the long run. As a consequence of their capacity to move for long periods of time and not lose track of what they are doing from exhaustion, these beasts can have access to either their own temple or the signature stamina ability as base abilities, the latter of which enables them to get up and stand strong after being hit by an attack and boost their defense stat with every strike, while those that are especially sound of mind and unflinching against any force can have inner focus as a hidden ability. In terms of stats, in looking at Mudsdale, it can be said that their incredibly rugged and imposing forms more than make them a powerful force to be reckoned with physically and defensively, as while they might be slow and not have much to offer in the way of special offenses, their base special attack and speed stats being below average for a fully evolved ground-type Pokemon, their base defense stat is about average, and their base HP, attack, and special defense stats are all above average for a fully evolved Pokemon of their type, rendering them an imposing force in close quarters and afar that can take hits fairly well and deliver some potent blows right back with their bodies and legs in turn. In terms of personality, Mudbray are playful creatures for the most part, but they can be difficult for some to handle, as they can also be stubborn and individualistic, looking after their own needs first and never going against their own wishes no matter how much their owners plead with them. This is the primary reason why they are used less often than their evolved form for transportation and cargo transferring, as one false step can send them into a screaming fit that can be incredibly difficult to pacify. For these creatures, eating dirt, making mud for their hooves by eating dirt and mixing it with their own saliva, and playing in thick mire for entertainment are all part of their daily routine, and on a secondary note, they cannot stand to be clean in the slightest. It is thought that this is the case because the mud helps to keep them cool in the heat of their native regions, as they were not originally bred to be able to live in tropical and extremely hot conditions all year round. Thankfully for most, as long as Mudbray are allowed to frolic in the mud and get themselves nice and dirty on a regular basis, they can be incredibly obedient and easy to maintain peace with. If not, however, they can become stressed and highly disobedient and will refuse to follow orders until they get what they want, making them a bit of a pain if one prefers cleanliness to dirt on their Pokémon. Unlike their stubborn and individualistic pre-evolution, Mudsdale are calm, stoic beasts that never show that they are in pain or troubled by anything, always listening to those that they trust with earnest and obeying their commands without fail.
This makes them the perfect candidate for not only transporting large amounts of goods across the native regions, but perfect for use as ride partners, and they serve their duty with great delight.
Even though these creatures cannot go very fast even at a full gallop, their hooves are incredibly hard, sturdy, and resistant to pain, allowing them to travel across rocky terrain that might otherwise be too rough for other draft Pokémon to handle. Their obedience also makes them much easier to train than most Pokémon, which is a rare thing to be able to say about any fully evolved Pokémon, as the norm is usually the complete opposite. As a result, it is not uncommon for trainers to try and catch these creatures in the wild rather than their pre-evolved form, though the sheer defensive power that they have can make that an incredibly tricky operation and not something to be attempted by just anyone. The only weakness they really have is an inability to do much with special attacks, but considering that their true power lies in the might of physical attacks like high horsepower and mega kick, that is a concern that few trainers will have to worry about in battle.
While they might seem a bit plain in the eyes of some, the members of the Mudbray family are impressive steeds that can definitely deal some notable punishment and take it like a champ when push comes to shove. Getting them to listen at a young age can be a bit of a pain, but for those willing to stick it out and bear the frustration, the proud beasts these creatures can develop into eventually are more than worth respecting and looking out for in any confrontation.
Just do yourself a favor and make sure that you treat these draft animals with the dignity that they deserve. Otherwise, you might be just a single kick away from more than just a few lost teeth and broken bones when these mighty mammals deliver a stomping beatdown on you to make the pecking order clear. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter, where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description.
Yep, no.
With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.